Hello, people, and welcome to a new month, which means that it is time for my wheel of colors TBR. But I am adding one extra this month, which is I'm going to have a prompt to match the color, so then it helps me go through others. So then it helps me go through old TBR, and I can be very specific about which ones I read, so I can make sure that I'm reading some of the other books that I have on there. But before we get into the spins, I do have a couple of compulsory reads I want to get on there because I am doing a reading vlog for it. You would have already seen the first episode of this reading vlog up before this one, so I'm trying to include. I'm trying to incorporate 4 books, which is Verity by Colleen Hoover, Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, Strange to Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Backman. These are for another episode of that reading vlog that I would have already put up, which is testing hyped authors. Okay, so those are the ones that I'm hoping to incorporate. And as for how I did in April, it is still the 18th when I'm recording this. I did switch around a couple of prompts that I was trying to get, so I filled out just because I was super busy for most of the month up until this point, and so I swapped a couple out for like audiobooks. So yeah, I think I'll be okay with it, but I will let you know somewhere on this screen if I was not successful. And yeah, so basically the rules for the game are simple. I spin a color, and now I'm also spinning a prompt, and I pick a book to match those. And I'm going to make it that if I get it more than once per game, then I will add another spin, but it's only per game, because I will not be able to keep track of where I was up to if I do it over multiple games. So I'm just going to do the count per game, like per month, and I will reset it every month. That makes it a bit more challenging, but it also makes it but it also ups the stakes a little bit. Anyway, let's move on to the spins and start the game for this month. Oh, sorry, one thing I forgot to mention. I did already do the spins, so I'm not going to show my face with the spins. I'm just going to show you the spin, and then you will cut back to me, who already has the books selected. On that note, let's throw in the clips of past me doing the spins. Okay, and my first spin for this month got me start a new series, and then I rolled another wheel to get me the color, and it was white. So it's start a new series in white, which is perfect because Strange to Dreamer by Laini Taylor is the start of a duology, and there are white birds all over it. So, yep, I can count that as one of my compulsory reads. Alright, on to the next spin. And the second spin, I got disability rep, and I again got white. And for that, I'm going to read The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. This has autism rep, so this counts as a disability rep book. And I have heard good things about this book. I myself have autism, so I guess a part of me is intrigued as to what it'll say about it. But yeah, so that is my second compulsory read. Next. Okay, and my next spin got me to prompt a boring cover, because I don't like to call it ugly cover, because that's insulting. I either find covers pretty and intriguing, or I find them boring. Anyway, it was boring cover and pink, and I will read Below Deck by Sophie Hardcastle for this one. There is pink scattered in the background here, and while it's got pretty colours, it's still kind of a nothing cover, if you're talking about like what intrigues you about a book. I could not tell you anything about what this was about, so I'm just going to use the description that my brother gave when I was telling him the book I bought. It's about a girl who has no memory of anything and then becomes a pirate. I'm going with that until I know otherwise. But yeah, Below Deck by Sophie Hardcastle is my third compulsory read. And then, of course, writing a spin because I got boring cover again. And black. Yeah, so boring cover and black. I will put Lock Every Door by Raleigh Sager on my TBR. There is black shadows scattered throughout this cover. And so, yeah. Lock Every Door by Raleigh Sager. It is a thriller. I think I don't really know what to call this. I don't really know what to call these ones. Are they thriller, mystery? Either way, I'm intrigued to read Raleigh Sager. Okay, and with that, we will move on to the next spin. Okay, and the next prompt spin got me lowest rated, and of course I can't really colour this because my lowest rated is my lowest rated, and I went to my whole TBR. I won't put it up on the screen, but yeah, I went to my whole TBR on Goodreads, and the lowest rated one was Emma by Alexander McCall Smith, and it's a modern retelling of Jane Austen's Emma. I don't really know what else I need to say about that. It's the story of Emma, but told in a modern day setting. And I am curious as to what I will think of it compared to why others didn't like it. But yeah, so this is going to TBR, Emma by Alexander McCall Smith. And we'll go on to the next spin. And my next spin, I got Nonfiction and Black. I'm so glad this came up because I have so many nonfiction books on my shelf which I have not read and I keep meaning to. So now this will at least make me read one of them. And I will read Robin by Dave Itzkoff. It's a biography, but not an autobiography because it was written by someone else. But anyway, I am intrigued about it because I did love Robin Williams and almost everything he did. So I will be intrigued by this story itself. It is a very thick book, so it will take me probably most of the month to read this, but if I space it out with the other reads, I'll be fine. So, yeah, on to the next spin. And the next spin, I got A Book You Know Nothing About, and then I spun Red. And I will. And for that, I will do the audiobook of The Death of Vivek Oji, which is one of my 12 for 12 recommends. And I know diddly squat about this book. I'm going into it blind, and I like the idea of that. So, yeah, I will say more about what that book was about in my wrap up and also my thoughts about it. So, yeah, we'll move on to my last spin before my bonus spin. All right. Okay, and my last spin got me audiobook, and then I spun for the color, and it was other. And for that, I will read A Lifetime of Impossible Days by Tabitha Bird. I can't remember why this was other, but I can't remember why this was other, but I'm going to count it anyway. A Lifetime of Impossible Days by Tabitha Bird. This is about a woman who meets herself who has herself and then meets herself in two other time periods. So, yeah, I am intrigued by this book, and it will be, yeah, and it's nice to get some audiobooks thrown in here. Anyway, now we will move on to my one bonus spin. And my bonus spin got me previous TBR and the color orange. So this is any book that has been on a TBR previously that I didn't get to or didn't finish that has orange on the cover. And I will continue / finish Nevermore. There is orange on her skirt here. And yeah, so I'm counting this. Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. Yeah, so I'll count this as my previous TBR book. And I will now just quickly continue with my readathon and any other information. Okay, and that was it for my Wheel of Colors game, and I will just now just talk about the readathons that I've got. I have a list on my phone here. So I will hopefully be completing 2 readathons. The first one being May the Force Read With You, which is hosted by Break Even Books. I will link all the readathon information below. Basically, I'm going to be on the dark side because why not? And the first prompt for that one is a book you think will shock you. I will go with my other one of my other compulsory reads that I was planning to read next month for a vlog anyway. Verity by Colleen Hoover. I've never read any Colleen Hoover before, but I am intrigued as to the hype, and I'm pretty sure the book won't be what I expect it to be. So, yeah. Verity by Colleen Hoover. And then the next one is A Book with a Pretty Cover, which is a book I didn't bring out here, but I'll put it on the screen. It is Book of Soul and Dreams by... No, I can't remember. I'll just put the picture up on the screen so you can see it's a pretty cover. I just didn't get it down when I brought the rest out here. Force Fear, a thriller / horror book. I'm going to go for... Where is it? Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. This is definitely a thriller / horror. So, yeah. Next one is Start a Series. Stranger Dreamer. Nevermore could definitely work for that, but Stranger Dreamer by Laini Taylor is the start of a series. The next one is Mind Control, which will be Polpick, which is still active at the time of me recording this. And I have put 3 books on the options, and they are A Man Called Uwe, which is my last compulsory read that I haven't gotten on yet, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and Vivek OJ, which I don't own physically, but I have an audiobook for. So it'll be one of these 3, and I will put the winner of the poll on the screen somewhere so that you can know which one has become a compulsory read for that readathon. And yeah, so that's it for like the dark side themes. The next one, then there are some extras, which is Weapon. I chose to go with Lightsaber. A book with your favorite color as the main color. A Lifetime of Impossible Days. I tell people my favourite colour is purple, but it's probably actually blue is my favourite colour. So, A Lifetime of Impossible Days by Tabitha Bird will be my read for that one. This one is Galactic Empire, an intimidating book. Robin by Dave Itzkoff. It's definitely an intimidating book. It's non-fiction. It's nearly it's like 508 pages. And yeah, so this is definitely an intimidating read. And then the last prompt is actually a book with a captivating first sentence. I will insert a clip of future me choosing a pile of books and reading the first sentences. So I will cut to that and come back. Okay, and it is now the next day when I filmed the first bit. I have grabbed a pile of 5 books. I'm going to read the first sentence and see which one I'm most captivated by, and that'll be the one I read. That's probably not how you meant to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, let's start with one of my 2 middle grades. 7 Wherewithal Way by Samantha Ellen Bound. What is the first sentence of this one? Ferdinand fell out of the sky on the hottest day of the year, while Celeste and Esmeralda Barden were on the front porch eating ice cream. That's an okay sentence, but not really captivating. Okay, let's move on to my other middle grade, Checkmates by Stuart Foster. Okay. The only sentence is I stare at the wall. That is not very captivating, or at least in terms that they mean it. Okay, and now we'll move on to the ones that are probably going to be closer. A thriller called The Girl Before by J.P. Delaney. Okay, see what this sentence is. It's a lovely little flat, the letting agent says with what could almost pass for genuine enthusiasm. Nah, almost okay. Let's go with this one. The Vanishing Act of Esme Lennox by Maggie O'Farrell. Let us begin with 2 girls at a dance. One's okay, but not really captivating. And the last one out of this pile is Dead Lucky by Andreina Cordani. I think I pronounced that right. Anyway. By the time the video was taken down, 3 million people had watched Zav Bailey's murder. Yep, that one sounds fun. That one sounds fun. So I'm going to go with this one. What one do you think? Alright, my dog's not helping. But yeah, definitely this one. Out of all of those, this is the most captivating sentence. So I guess I'll be reading this one. And now back to past me to wrap up this video. Okay, and we'll find out whatever, and you guys will know whatever book I just selected before I will. But yeah, the other readathon I'm hoping to take part in is the Royal Readathon Couples Edition. And I can't remember who this is hosted by, but again, I'll link it all below. Mulan and the first couple is Mulan and Shang, and that's a book with LGBT rep. I've been told The Death of Vivek Oji has LGBT rep, so I'm going to read that one for that. The next one is Ariel and Eric, a book of sailor or mermaids. I will go with Below Deck by Sophie Hardcastle. That definitely has sailors in it. Even though it's not quite pirates, there's definitely sailors in there. Okay, and the next one is Belle and the Beast. Read a book with forced proximity. That 100% works for Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. That's definitely a close proximity. The next one is Aurora and Prince Philip, a book with a secret or forbidden love. I don't quite know what I'm going to read for that one yet. I will update you in next month when I figure that out, or I've read the books that I know. The next one is Rapunzel and Flynn. Read a book with an adventure. I'm going to count Nevermore for that one. That's definitely an adventure. The next one is Tiana and Naveen, a book with enemies to lovers. I've been informed this is a enemies to lovers book, and I will audiobook The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Again, that's a book I haven't read yet, but I've heard a lot of people talk about, so I will tell you my thoughts for that one. I apologize if you hear running around. That's my dog just running around the living room. The next book is Cinderella and Prince Charming. Read a book with a ball or a party. One of these probably has one in there. I would guess Emma does. I know that the original one did. This one might have one. If it doesn't, I will again just add one on throughout the month. And the last couple is Anna. Billy. And the last couple is Anna and Kristoff, a book that makes you laugh. I can't say that off the top of my head, but I will definitely let you know what I read for that. Also, we now have a visitor joining me. Okay, and the last reading challenges I'm going to do are the year-long ones I've been doing. The first one is TBR Knockout, and the ones for this month are a book with green on the cover. Where did it go? Ah, here it is. A book with green on the cover. A man called Uwe. There is grass on this cover, and his pants are green. There's a fair amount of green on this cover, so I'm going to count this one. Then the other one is a book with 5 to 7 letters. There are a few titles I can fill into this one. I'm not going to pick one right now, but I definitely have one ready. And the other year-long reading challenge that I'm in is the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, which is hosted by Chantel Reads All Day. Again, all of this will be linked below. And the prompts for that one is just read an author new to you. Most of this pile of authors is new to me. Nearly all of these piles of authors are new to me, so I can definitely fill that one. So I can definitely fill that prompt. And then you've got the buzzword reading challenge. None of these have it, I know, unless below counts as a direction. If below counts as a direction, then I have one covered. If it doesn't, then I will figure it. Then I will find one. Alright, so luckily I didn't have to add many books on, because the only ones that I couldn't count as my readathon or compulsory reads are A Man Called Uwe. Well, actually, it's pretty much just this. A Man Called Uwe. I couldn't make that fit somewhere. On my actual prompts, unless it gets picked as poll pick. Yeah, I could make this fit somewhere, but luckily I only have one. But this is the only one that I couldn't make fit, so I will. So I count that as a win. Anyway, this is quite a big stack this month, but I do have a couple of extras on here. Okay. Anyway, this is my reads plus the audiobook I mentioned and whatever future me chose for the updating first sentence question. Anyway, that's it for this month. That's it. That's my TBR for May. Thank you for joining me and happy reading, and I will check in with you guys later. Bye!